In this video, I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can edit a picture in Photoshop with some of the color-based edits. So I'm going to be showing you how to edit contrast of a picture, how to edit the saturation of a picture, and how to edit the vibrance of the picture. So let's start with contrast. What contrast is the difference in the brightness of the light and the dark areas of an image. So how big of a noticeability is there in the difference between those areas? So in order to edit this, it's a pretty simple step. You need to go up to the adjustment panel and you can see where the sun is. It says brightness and contrast. So go ahead and click on that. And the bottom scroll bar says contrast. So the more you turn up your contrast, the bigger the difference there's going to be between those light and dark areas. So if I turn this up, you can see that my darker colors are really getting darker, my lighter ones are getting lighter, and it creates a little bit more of a harshness, and you can definitely tell a more distinction between the colors. If I turn my contrast down, you are getting a little bit more of a dulled out picture where there's not as much of a difference between the colors that are there. So depending on what look you're going for, you can either turn the contrast up or turn it down to try to get the look that you're wanting to achieve. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the visibility on that so we can start with the clean picture. And next I'm going to show you how to adjust saturation. So if you go back to our adjustment panel, you can see a button for hue and saturation. Now what saturation is the intensity and richness of a color. So how much do you really want to bring those colors out, those bright colors out in that picture? So let's click on our button that I've got highlighted. And you should be able to see that there is a saturation scroll bar in the middle. If I turn that bar up, I am going to get more rich and intense colors. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can see as I move, those greens are getting greener, the blues are getting bluer. You can see the red and that cow's fur, they're getting brighter, and to the point where I have it brought all the way up. And you can see even those blue tones and yellow tones in her face are being brought out. Now, if I do the opposite and I turn it down, it's going to take away some of the hue of that picture. So you're going to turn it down to the point where I have all the saturation taken out and it makes it black and white. So again, this is your preference. If you're wanting to brighten up your picture a bit, maybe wash it out a bit for a different feel, you can use your saturation to do that. So again, I'm going to turn off my visibility here so that we start with a clean picture. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to edit the vibrance of a picture. What vibrance is very similar to saturation, where it's turning up the intensity of the colors, but instead of those brighter colors, it's focusing more on the muted colors. So it makes the picture a little more vibrant, but not in such an obvious way like saturation is. So if you go up to your adjustment panel, you can see this upside down triangle that says vibrance on it. So if you go ahead and click on that, the top scroll bar says vibrance. So if you turn the vibrance up, it slowly makes your picture get a little bit brighter. It doesn't do it in such an intense way as saturation does. So if I turn my vibrance all the way up, it has definitely made my picture a little more colorful, made those colors pop, but it doesn't look as unnatural as what saturation did. Now if I turn the vibrance down, it is going to wash out some of those colors, but again, unlike saturation, it doesn't wash them out completely. It's just really bringing down and muting some of those colors. So vibrance can be a more subtle way that you can make colors either pop a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on what you want. So now you know 3 different ways to adjust color. You can use your contrast, your saturation, or your vibrance to give your picture a different look according to what you want.